What's up, guys, and welcome to a new season of Coach's Corner. Listen, we have been on hiatus because life has been lifing and we took a little break, but we are back and we are ready to bring some great conversation to you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
For those of you who don't know who I am Keke Chanel, certified life coach, author, owner of 19 Lifestyle Magazine, and podcast host of Kicking It with Keke, Life, Love, and all that other shit. I am joined with my co host today, Butterfly Thoughts, and I'm going to pass the baton over to her so she can let you know who she is. What's up, sis?
Hey, y'all. Hey, butterflies. How are y'all? Oh, I'm so excited. Let me just say, for those who don't know who I am KimmyB. As you know, your perspective coach, author, and speaker. Now, I've got a new title. I'm now also called a journal therapy coach. So, you know.
Congratulations
Yes.
on
So,
that.
we're
Yeah.
gonna be shushing it up a little bit. You know what I mean? And we're gonna
Yeah.
have some great topics for y'all.
Right. And I want to get into what we got going on today. We are on episode 1 in our purpose series. We are doing a
Yeah.
series on purpose, right?
Mm.
And today's topic is
Mhm.
trusting and going through the process to discover, define, and develop your
Mm.
purpose.
Mm. Mm.
So,
Baby.
Coach Kimmy,
Yes, ma'am.
if you had to give a definition of purpose, what would yours be?
Purpose is something that is deep down in your soul that you do on a daily basis and you don't even recognize that you do it, but you know it's a divine feeling of what needs to happen and what needs to be done without without it being hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Just comes natural.
Yeah.
I like that. If I had to
Mhm.
give my definition of purpose is doing something that's bigger than you.
Oh, yes.
Because when I think of purpose, I think of pouring into other people.
Mhm.
And I realize that I have been put here, and my purpose is to giving a voice and uplifting others.
Right.
I want people to be able to use their voice to share their stories because I grew up in a household where we were always allowed to use our voice.
Mhm.
So when people don't know how to communicate, or when they feel, when I hear, hear people and speak to them and hear their stories, and they tell me that they were told to be quiet or go outside and play. Yeah, we got told that too in certain instances,
Mm.
instance in certain situations. Let me
Mhm.
just say that in certain situations, I we heard that too. But for the most part, my people let us speak. We weren't just tiny kids without a voice. They, how you feeling? How are you? How was your day?
Right.
What, tell me what's wrong. Why you looking like that? It was
Mhm.
always someone there to make sure that we were heard and not just seen.
Right. Not dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me too, my mom always listened to me,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't have, for the most part of my life, it was me and my mom. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a lot of outside influence
Mm-hmm.
because my mom had this thing of her growing up and how she was always shoved, like you said, outside, go play,
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
And feelings weren't talked about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
hugs weren't happening and
Mm.
stuff like that. So it was a thing for her to make sure that I had that. And with that, I had the hugs. I had the how was your day? What happened in school? You know, there's anything that we need to talk about, so those kind of things, I was able to have free range in speaking.
Mhm.
Certain things you just can't do, like cuss in front of your parents, be, rude and obnoxious or stuff like
Mhm.
that. But I was able to speak for the most part.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your definition of purpose because some people, and I feel sad for these people who are
Mhm.
walking around here and they don't know what their purpose is.
Right.
So that's why it's important to talk about trust in the process because I didn't always know what my purpose was. Although I figured it out at an earlier age, I ran from it because I didn't like being in the limelight. Although I had
Mm.
people to push me to be a leader because they felt like you're a natural leader. When you walk into space, eyes flock to you and people they just pretty much do what you say. Like if
Right.
you wear something a certain way, 9 times out of 10 by the end of the day, other people gonna be rocking it the same way or something like that.
Mhm.
Or if you
Yeah.
speak about something eloquently or passionately, I should say, then
Right.
other people might say, you know what, I like that too. So let me talk about it or let me get on board or being smart. Like I was always top of my class and I took education very personal and it was just something that I just enjoyed doing. I didn't want to
Mm.
be slow. I didn't want to be considered as stupid or dumb or
Mhm.
ignorant or whatever. I took pride in going to school, listening, getting my lesson. I didn't
Right.
study too much, but I realized that yeah, my purpose is tied to helping others figure out who they're supposed to be and giving them a voice, a place to share their stories.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, same here. Like I've I've always been pouring into people,
Mhm.
and because I'm always a person that's pouring into people, people end up flocking to me.
Mhm.
So even though I've been always doing what I feel is my purpose,
Mm.
I didn't know that that's what was my purpose at that time.
Mhm.
Right? But for the most part, I have been always walking in my purpose because, again, most of my friends will come to me, talk to me. There are friends that I have that I'm closer to their parents than they are closer to their parents.
Mhm.
For some reason, my brain recalls a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, I'm
And
always the
and
one pouring into people.
and I'm glad that you're talking about that because it just validates the point. Purpose is not personal.
Mhm.
Purpose pushes you to help other people.
Other people.
And
Absolutely.
you have to be willing to go to the process. When you tap into your purpose, either one or two things gonna happen. You gonna elevate or you're not.
Or you're gonna stay the same, yep.
You might go through a season of isolation or separation
Right.
because as you grow in your purpose and
Mhm.
it touches more people, the ones who knew you way back then are the ones that not aligned to your purpose in any way.
Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
tend to fall off,
Yep.
and I'm learning to be okay with that. I'm
Yeah.
learning to be
That is
and because
that is the thing.
that's part of the process, right?
There you go. And that's the thing. As you grow, as you elevate, as you shift mindsets,
Mhm.
certain people is gonna stick around and certain people is not.
Yeah,
And you got to be okay with that and understand that they're making room for the people who needs to come across your path and
absolutely.
be okay with when their season is up.
Absolutely.
So,
So when did you and we're going to talk about discovering, defining and developing your purpose. When did you discover your purpose?
so when I started my business, I realized and recognized that this is what I need. Well, right before I started my business, um, it, again, my closest friends, my sister, which it started off as my bestie, but now we're so close that we're sisters. Between her and a cousin of ours, which we call cousin, but again, another friend. Um, they both said to me at two different times that you need to do this for a living, or
Mhm.
you need to do something with this gift that you have. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just being me. And
Mhm.
that was my thing. I'm just being me.
Mhm.
And they was like, no, we will pay you for what you do. We come to you all the time. You have so much insight. You have so much clarity. You have such a broad mindset.
Mhm.
And you need to do something with this. I said, well, I don't know what to do with nothing because I'm just being me. You know what I mean? So, and then eventually I said, "Do you know what? After my sister said it, and then a couple weeks later or a couple months later, my cousin came and said it to me. And I said, "You know what? Lord, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. But if this is the direction you want me to go in,
Mhm.
you need to give me the people and place the people in my life so I can be able to figure it out.
Right.
Because I have no idea what to do with this." And then eventually, other people started coming in my path, ideas started coming into my path, and that's how I discovered my purpose, my journey, and which is ultimately to make an impact on somebody's life.
Absolutely. And that's the I think that's the whole part. Once you discover it, then you define it.
Mhm.
And I had different definitions because I'm a writer first and foremost. So
Right.
I've always used my words to help build, build up or uplift or inspire other
Right.
people. And so when I realized, okay, you have a gift with words, your words have
Mhm.
impact.
Right.
You can hurt people with your words or you can help people with your words. So I just
Mhm.
made a better
For
decision. Like,
sure.
yeah, yeah, I've written stuff out of anger,
Mm.
and and we've all said stuff out of anger. But
Of
then
course.
as you grow and mature and develop who you are, you begin to define your purpose and why you're here, what's important,
For
who to
sure.
hold on to, who to let go when they let
Let
go
go
of
of.
you. Because I'm a firm believer that when you are walking in your purpose, you
Mhm.
just move different.
Yes. And it's a lot smoother.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have like, yeah, don't get me wrong, we're still learning and still growing. So
Mm-hmm.
we still are going to have a little rough patch every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tell you, like, life is just so much smoother, so
Mm-hmm.
much more peaceful
Mm-hmm.
because you're doing the work of the Lord that He put inside of you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
so much easier. And I love just being in my purpose, you know?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Mm.
It is a beautiful thing. And sometimes I get all teared up because I don't know where I would be, what I would be doing if I wasn't walking in my purpose.
Purpose. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't even be here to be honest, because when I was so bogged down in mess, my own mess of feeling unloved,
Mm.
that I just really went through life at some period of time
Right.
just blind.
Mhm.
Blind.
Mhm.
I didn't see the what God put inside me. I didn't see what other people was telling me. I didn't see myself as a light. I was full of darkness, so I lived in that. I hid
Right.
for a while. I would go into like get off work and then go into my apartment and keep it dark.
Mm.
Like cuz when you're depressed,
Mhm.
you don't like the light. The light gives you it gives that gives off that happy drug, that serotonin, but
Serotonin, right.
But when you there, these headphones is giving me the blues because the way my hair is, I can't put them all up so they falling. Like, yeah. So I apologize
Yeah.
if I keep being a distraction messing with these headphones. But
No, you good.
yeah, it's like then you just start to develop that purpose. When you come out of that dark, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. When I came out of that darkness and I realized what my purpose was,
Mhm.
I defined it and then I just started to develop that. So as a writer, I had to come up with ways to pour into myself first and foremost
Right.
so that it could be beneficial to other people as well.
Mhm. For
And
sure.
becoming a life coach, man,
Hmm.
it just changed my life. It
Yeah.
changed my life, and I know that the people I've helped are better because of our interaction, are better because our time spent together.
Right. Yep.
And I listen, for anyone who is listening that may feel like you're not good enough, that may feel like that you have discovered your purpose, but it's not being beneficial. It is. People are watching, they always watching. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna,
for
I'm gonna
sure.
tell you something that's gonna save you a lot of time and energy. The people who are watching will never congratulate you, they will never
Nope.
support you. So don't even worry about it. Let them stay where they at and you keep doing what you're doing. They don't understand the gift that God has put inside you, and it's not for them to understand. And 9 times out of 10, they won't get on board until other people start celebrating you.
Mhm. Mhm. That's oh man, when I tell you that is so true. And it's the people who are the closest to you
Hmm.
or who you think is the closest to you is the ones that disappoint you the most.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But go ahead.
those are not your audience. And that's what you have to understand and remember. Those are not the people you're supposed to make an impact on or who's supposed to make an impact on you.
And I was gonna say, don't take it personal because
Right.
people can't understand what they don't understand.
That part.
If
Yep.
they don't understand who God created you to be and the message that you are putting out there on your platform and the things that you're
Mhm.
doing to uplift people, then they'll never
Right.
be on board because hurt people and misery loves company.
Baby. Okay.
And people are in our lives for a season, a reason in a lifetime. They're there
Mhm.
for blessings and lessons and all the things in between. So we just have to
Absolutely.
figure out who those individuals are. Love on yourself enough to know that it's okay that you don't rock with me like that. As long as
Yep.
I'm rocking with myself, it really
That's
don't
it.
matter.
Yep.
And I used to get sad. I used to get sad because I knew that as I grew in purpose, my relationship with God began to grow even more.
Oh, yes.
And that is to this day the most important relationship that I can have is relationship with God.
With God. That's it.
You begin to hear what's not being said because
Mhm.
you might walk in a space and you might see somebody look at you and they might do a little eye roll or look you up and down or whisper to somebody or whatever, and
Yep.
the old me would have been like, dang, why they don't like me, or what's wrong with me? The new me,
Mhm.
baby, I'm walking confident, I'm walking bold because I'm supposed to be in the space.
That's right.
Don't be mad at me because my light intimidates your darkness. Come on to the
That
light.
that part right there.
I'm gonna stay who I am. I'm gonna stay in walking in purpose because
Mhm.
you know that my purpose is to help other people, and you're one of those people, but you won't do it because it's me.
Yep. Yep. For sure. For
And why do you
sure.
believe that though? Why do you believe that people can love what you do, want to work with you, but they are so afraid of what other people might say, or they are so afraid of how they made you feel once upon a time, they think that you still holding on to that.
Because they're holding on to those grudges.
Yeah. Hold on,
You know
man.
what I mean? They're holding on to the things that you done let go.
Oh yeah. I'm not holding on to
And
nothing that's not
one
serving me.
yeah, one thing I wanted to say too was when God was putting his purpose in you,
Hmm.
it wasn't a round table.
Right.
It was not a round table. It was his decision and his decision alone that purposely put that purpose and that mission, those missions in you.
He knew before we was formed in our mother's womb what our
Okay,
purpose would be.
that's right. So we can't even blame them for not seeing what our purpose and our mission is,
Mhm.
because not all the time we can see theirs.
Mhm.
God whispered in our ears
Yes.
what we need to do, what he
Mhm.
need us to do. And he gives everybody a different mission and a
Absolutely.
different purpose. So that's what we got to look at it as, and just go with the flow of life. You never know where life is going to build you up to, and you never know who is going to come right back around to get the thing that they needed from you all along, but was too afraid to get.
All right. And I want to talk about purpose is not private. You cannot be
Nope.
walking in your purpose and not showing up and letting other people know what you do, because
Yep.
your purpose is to help other people. So it
Yep.
cannot be private. You would never operate to your fullest potential if you trying to keep what you do private. And I tell people that's all the time. If God gave you gifts and you don't use those gifts, guess what's going to happen?
Mhm.
He going to take them gifts back and give them to somebody else that's ready to go.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you don't have to be perfect in walking in your purpose, just showing up with passion.
And that will make you feel better because you're showing up for self. We cannot expect others to show up for us or to do things for us that we are not going to do for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank in the story. You have to be able to do love on yourself, do show up for yourself, do the
Mm-hmm.
things that God stored in you or whispered in your ear, and be able to do those things for yourself before you can say you're ready to make an impact on the world,
Mm-hmm.
or ready
You,
to tell somebody else, oh, well, you got to do X, Y, and Z for me, but you can't even do it for yourself.
yes, like that. I don't understand why people want other people to do for them what they can't do for themselves.
I don't get it. But you know what? That's how society is, right? Society has it where, oh, he's supposed to do this. He's supposed to love you. He's supposed to bring you flowers. He's supposed to do this. That. He's supposed to be, and make it this whole
Grand
princess
gesture.
lifestyle,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? But if you can't do it for yourself, and then when he don't do it for you, you get mad. You
Mm-hmm.
can't get mad for something that you can't do for yourself.
And here's the
So you
thing.
got to pour into yourself.
You have to, in order to go trust and go through the process to discover, define, and develop your
Ooh,
purpose,
baby.
you have to go through those seasons of, I need to have that self-love.
Yep.
I need to be self-aware.
Mhm.
I
Because
need
nobody's
to
gonna love you like you. I
mm,
just want to
and
say
I need
that.
to have that self-discovery, because we are ever changing.
Forever
So
changing.
what the person that I was last year, I'm not the person that I was. The person
Nope.
that I was months ago, I'm not that same person.
Nope.
And I think that when you walk in your purpose and you really, really understand the severity of your purpose, and that's all you know,
Right.
that stuff right there, it comes and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's a lightning, like a light bulb. You get an aha moment of like, oh wow, okay. You get a mind shift, a mindset shift, like,
Mhm.
oh wow, this is why I was like this when I was 5 years old.
And you do a lot of reflecting. And
You
when you
have
get
to.
when you do a lot of reflecting, you get those aha moments. And it's like, oh, that's why I had to go through X, Y, and Z in order
Mhm,
to do A, B, and C. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So
mhm.
you will get those moments, but you have to know how to sit with yourself and love on yourself and love within yourself. Like, you got to know these things, because if you don't, you're never going to grow to your capacity.
Absolutely. And it just goes back to you have to trust the process.
And trust in the process.
The
Baby,
process
baby.
is not easy, y'all. Y'all know how, we watch people bake pies and cakes and stuff like that. It's a process. They have to measure everything because
Yes.
otherwise, if you just throwing stuff in the pot in the bowl and mixing
Hmm.
it, you're gonna get a mess.
And that's if you don't know what you're doing either.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you can't understand that there's a process to everything, every aspect in
Yep.
life, you're gonna become a mess. You're
Hmm.
gonna create a mess.
Yep. And don't get us wrong, things will get messy at times,
Hmm.
but you have to know how to flow through those messy areas.
Yeah, it goes back to trusting the process. The
Eh,
process is
Trust in the
not
process,
everything is gonna be sunshine and rainbows. You're gonna go through
for
some
sure.
trials and tribulations.
For sure.
Adversity is gonna come
Yep.
because there is gonna be a weapon that form, but that don't mean it's gonna prosper.
At
When
all
we get
times.
out of that
Right.
that mind frame of understanding that we ain't supposed
Mhm.
to go through nothing in life,
Oh, we got to get out of that.
get out of that. Let that go. Of course, you're gonna go through some stuff.
Because the thing is, in order to elevate in life, in order
Hmm.
to grow in life, you have to go through some things.
Hmm.
I had to lose my fiance 15 years ago, 16 years ago, in order for me to become this person that I am now,
Hmm.
where I can see things in a different perspective,
Hmm.
go through the flow of grief, going through the flow of hardship, because I had all those things in one, so you will learn how to be able to go through those flows, but you won't ever be able to know how to go through those flows if you haven't gone through anything.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to trump anybody's situation, but it wasn't until I lost myself
See?
that I understood that God wants, I wanted more from me.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because even during those darkest times that I talked about, I knew He was always there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna
And when
let you
you're
bump
ready.
your head,
Yep.
and eventually that head is gonna hurt, and you're gonna get tired, and you're gonna come around, and I'm gonna be right
Yep.
here to welcome
Yep.
you back with open arms. Not that you ever left, because I never left you. It's just that sometimes we think that we're alone and we're not.
And we're not. That's the
Because and
thing.
that's the whole part, the most important part of the process of trusting the process. It
You
don't
got to
matter if
trust
you
the God
get
in you.
exactly. And it don't matter if you get 5 likes. It don't matter if you get 100 followers. It don't matter if you can create content that's pretty. What
Mm-hmm.
what are you giving to your audience? Are you showing up as your most authentic
Authentic
self?
self.
Or are you just putting on this facade persona?
Mm-hmm.
You only can pretend so much.
I mean, I tell people all the time, when you pretend, you lie.
Yeah, that's a
And a
form of
liar
lying.
don't ever have no memory.
Because guess what? It's too much work, man. It is too much work to
Too
have to
much.
tell.
Because
You
you
got to
gotta
remember
sit
what
there and
you said.
remember everything you said.
Uh-huh. Like,
And
nah,
then
I'm
you
good.
sit there and you gotta be like, okay, I said this to that person, and I said that to that person, and oh my God, what if they talking and da 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 da, and then they find out that I was lying all this time. Oh, I gotta come up with another story to tell to cover that story and listen.
It's too much. It's too much.
It is a way too much
Hmm.
to be dealing with that.
And it's
And that works
unnecessary.
on your heart and your body. And then
Yeah.
your body starts flaring up and you don't know why you got this disease and that disease.
Breakouts and all kind of
Come
stuff.
on, what?
Because if it ain't supposed to be inside you, guess what? It ain't going to stay there.
It's not. It's not.
Hmm.
Look, I had eye surgery years ago because I had this disease called keratoconus disease in both of my eyes.
Mhm.
And I had to have a corneal transplant.
Mhm.
Guess what? It's still a foreign body to my body.
Mhm.
So every so often I still have to put drops in my eyes in order for my body not to reject the corneals.
Mhm.
So no matter what, if it's a foreign body that it was not made in your body to begin with, your body is going to reject it at some point.
Mhm.
So let's avoid all of that and let's understand where we are in life and understand that, okay, we need to kick it up to the next level and grow through and flow through with the grow through.
E-
Okay.
exactly. You got to go through the flow in order to grow.
That's it.
And we gotta leave it. We gotta leave it at that because we got a whole series about purpose, y'all. And we
Yeah.
just wanted to talk to because a lot of people don't understand that purpose will save you a whole lot of time and wasted energy on things that you are not supposed to be doing. We
Yep.
sometimes take on stuff that we know we ain't supposed to be doing because that's not
For
a part of
sure.
our purpose. And then we get
Mhm.
mad when it don't turn out the way we think it's
We
supposed to
wanted
turn
to.
out. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
And not
yeah,
everything is
yeah.
going to turn out in in the way you thought it was going to turn out because
Mhm.
again, God has his own plan.
Yes.
So
And we
you can
believe
make
in
your
God over
plans
here,
and pray on
y'all.
your plans,
We believe in
but
God over here.
God is going to see where it's fitted and
Exactly.
shift things the way it needs to be shifted.
Shift it.
And you got
Exactly.
to be okay with that.
You got to be okay with that. And you have to understand that everybody's purpose is not tied to your own.
Nope.
Their purpose might look good one day, but you don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that they didn't put in to
For
make sure that
sure.
they are operating at the full capacity of their purpose.
Absolutely.
Don't try to be somebody else. Yeah, imitation is a form of flattery, but be who you are.
You still got to put your authentic self in it, in that, and twist it to you, not to
Yes.
imitate
Mhm.
who they are.
Mhm.
You can take inspiration from that person
Mhm.
and then spin it and put your authentic self in
Yeah,
so
cuz
that it can be
that's
all
been
about
I
what you
mean,
do.
taking ideas and making them your own, that has been around since the beginning of time.
Beginning.
Cuz if not, we would only have one burger joint, one chicken joint, one chiropractor, one doctor that
That's it.
specializes in certain things. We would
Yep,
only have one of each thing if nobody took what they saw somebody else do, put their spin on it and take it to another level.
exactly.
That is what purpose is too. You going through the process, you developing, defining, and discovering who you are, what you were put here to do, and going just making it rock out for you. Just making it rock out
Exactly.
for you.
Yep.
But yeah, we I can't wait to do
To
the
the
next
next
part
show.
to the next
Ah, it's
part.
gonna be I'm
It
so
is.
excited for this season, y'all. I'm truly excited.
Yeah,
Uh,
me
and I
too.
hope and I pray that we touch each and every one of y'all. We impact you in some form or fashion in order for you to elevate and grow your in your life and in your business if you have a business.
Yeah. That's the whole purpose of Coach's Corner. You know, we
That's
are
it.
taking experiences that we have had with other people and we're just sharing it with you guys. We're pretty
That's
much
it.
having a conversation that like a daily conversation for us.
Yep. And we stay talking about this kind of stuff, so we might as well have did it in a podcast, baby.
Hey, absolutely. But before we get out of here, Coach Kimmy, did you want to leave the listeners with something until next time?
Like we said before, trust the God in you.
Mm,
Trust that no matter what happens in your life, everything is for the better of you. There are going to be things that looks like a setback,
mm,
but However, there are no setbacks in life. There are only setups to your future.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, you guys, we will see you back at another time, at another place, same people, Coach's
Yes.
Corner. Um, just believe in yourself, trust the process, and then be who you are. Be who God put in your heart to be. Treat other with kindness. Treat yourself with kindness first, and
Yep.
everything else will flow. Don't worry about naysayers. Don't worry about people not believing in you. Believe in yourself, and you will be fine.
Right. Amen.
So, you guys have been listening to another episode of Coach's Corner. See you next time. Later.
Peace. Later.